photo
Yes, my lord.
that you collected the following day. What happened further?
My lord, further than that, I do know that on the 1st of June 2020, accused one was taken to court for the first appearance in relation to the matter of drug dealing in Tembisa.
Sorry. Okunye futhi engikwaziyo ukuthi ngayo ke i-1st zika June 2020 wase eyobingelela ke imantshi okoqala ke umsolo wokuqala mayela ke necala leli laseThembisa leyidakamizwa.
Just want to show you exhibit 00. Can you just identify exhibit 00?
Yes, my lord, it is the charge sheet for the Tembisa case 217 of 3/2019.
Sorry, iyona ke lena i-charge sheet yalo ke lecala leli laseThembisa ene case number 21703 ka 2019. Sorry.
Yes, and it relates the name of the accused listed here, my lord. It's accused number 1 with the date of appearance dated 2020-06-01.
Futhi ke igama elivelayo ke lana igama lakhe ke umsolo wokuqala nosuku ke noma ke i-date awavela ngayo ku 2020-06-01.
Thank you. What happened further?
So I do know, my lord, that he was remanded back into custody and he was taken back to Valeria SAPS for further investigation.
Ngiyazi ukuthi icala lahlehliswa ke lahlehliswa ukuthi egcineke ngaphakathi esitokisini nokuthi futhi lihlehliswa lapho ukuthi iqhubeke ngophenyo.
Yes.
Then, my lord, on the 4th of June 2020, I approached the accused number 1 in Valeria SAPS.
Ngazo i-4 zika June 2020 ngaya kuyena ke umsolo wokuqala emaphoyiseni aseValeria.
Warned him again according to his constitutional right and established if he was still willing to do the formal pointing out of the crime scene. The answer was yes, and he also indicated that he didn't need an attorney as well.
Ngamxwayisa futhi ke ngamalungelo akhe anawo ngomthetho sisekelo ke ngimbuza futhi ke kuyena ke ukuthi usafisa yini ukuthi ahambe ke ayokhomba indawo ke yesigameko noma la isehlakalo senzeka khona. Washo ke waphendula wathi yebo, washo nokuthi ke akanasifiso sokuthi ke abe khona ummeli.
Just a minute. You say you approached accused number 1 to find out if he's still prepared to make pointings out. Had he previously indicated that he wants to make pointings out?
Yes, he did, my lord, indicate that he is prepared to make the formal pointing out. The court will remember that I did mention that part as and when he was talking to the confessions and the pointing out.
Uthi ke uyoyile kuyena uyombuza ukuthi usayimisele yini ukuthi ayokhomba ingaba sikhona yini isigaba la awayeshilo khona ukuthi ke uyimisele ukuthi ayokhomba. Yebo, inkantolo izokhuluma wayeshilo ke inkantolo izokhumbula futhi ke ukuthi ngikushilo ke lokho nkathi ke ngikhuluma ke ngaso istatement noma ke confession awayenza ukuthi wakusho ke lokho mayela nokuhamba ayokhomba.
Just for record purposes, just identify that occasion again when he indicated that he's prepared to make pointings out.
It was the 30th of May, my lord, 2020, when I met him at Phosphorus police station in the parking lot, when I interviewed him in relation to his involvement or alleged involvement in the killing of Senzo Meyiwa.
Umshushisi uyacela ukuthi ke abuyele emuva ke asho ukuthi kokuyisiphi ke isigaba la asho khona ukuthi wayemisela ukuthi ahambe ke ayokhomba. Uthi mayiphendula ke uBrigadier uthi ke kwangelanga la nge-30 zika May 2020 umehlangana naye umsolo wokuqala eparking ke yezimoto khona lapho epolice station yase Phosphorus washo ke khona ke ukuthi ke uyimisele noma ke angakwenza ke lokho.
Thank you. And proceed about the events of the 4th of June 2020 at Valeria police cell.
Yes, my lord. After getting the confirmation that he still wants to proceed freely and voluntarily, I then made few calls until I got to Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe, who was prepared to assist with the pointing out.
Uma sengimbuzile-ke wavuma-ke ukuthi angakwenza-ke lokho ekhululekile engaphoqiweke ngase ngifona-ke noma ngenza-ke ama-calls ngaze ngafinyelela kuyena-ke uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe owasho-ke ukuthi-ke angalekelela kona lokho.
My Lord, Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe said he can assist the following day, which is the 5th of June 2020, and he requested that accused one should be detained at Alberton SAPS, where he will then make arrangements to book him out and carry on with the formal pointing out.
Awakusho-ke yena uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe ukuthi-ke angakwenza-ke lokho ngelanga elilandelayo-ke ngazo i-5 kuJune 2020 wase ecela-ke nokuthi-ke uma umsolwa angathathwa-ke asiwe-ke kuma-cell akhona-ke e-Alberton yena-ke wayezofika-ke nje amkhiphe noma ambhuke out khona lapho abese yaqhubeka.
My Lord, Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe also was not privy to these investigations. He was never part of it before. And I've never worked with him.
Okunye futhi-ke uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe akukho awayekwazi-ke mayelana nalolu daba noma leli cala leli akakaze abe yingxenye noma-ke ingxenye yethimba eliphenyayo kulona leli cala angazi futhi-ke ngisebenze naye ngaphambilini.
My Lord, I simply provided him with a case number and also made necessary arrangements for the photographer to be present on the day of the pointing out.
Engakwenza-ke ukuthi ngimnikeze njena-ke i-case number nokuthi ngenzeke ukuthi-ke lowo thwebula iy'thombe abe khona-ke ngelanga elilandelayo-ke uma eseyokwenza lowo msebenzi.
And furthermore, that Sergeant Mohane will be the one engaging him insofar as the movement of the accused to Alberton police station, and I communicated such to both of them, my Lord.
Nokuthi-ke kwakuzoba uSergeant Mohane-ke owayezomphelezela-ke mayelana nokususa kwakhe-ke umsolwa khona-ke e-Alberton aye khona lapho-ke eForsters. Lokho-ke ngakusho noma-ke ngabatshela bobabili.
No. To move the accused, in other words, from Valera SAPS to Alberton SAS, yes. Then from Alberton SAPS, the colonel then will be in charge of the point.
Ngixolisake lapho ngalelo phutha ukuthi-ke yena-ke uMohane owayezokwenza wayezosusa-ke umsolwa wokuqala eValera police station amhambise amise e-Alberton police station. Lapho-ke e-Alberton kwakuzoba uyena-ke uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe oseyamthatha-ke umsolwa aqhubeke naye.
If you say you communicated that those arrangements to both of them, who are you referring to?
I'm referring to Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe and Sergeant Mohane, my Lord.
Lokho-ke ngakhuluma kubona-ke bobabili ukuthi-ke uMohane yena wayezosusa umsolwa eValera amse e-Alberton bese Alberton yaqhubeka uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe ngatshela bona bobabili uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe kanye naye uSergeant Mohane.
Yes, you may proceed.
My Lord, I then on the 5th, I do know the 5th of June 2020 that such pointing out were done, concluded, and I was informed later by Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe that indeed they finalized the pointing outs.
Engikwaziyo-ke noma ngiyakwazi-ke ukuthi ngazo i-5 kuJune 2020 i-pointing out noma-ke ukhomba lokho kwenzeka futhi-ke ngatshelwa-ke uyena-ke uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe-ke ukuthi wakwenza lokho baqeda ngalelo langa lelo.
I later also received the form, my Lord, of the formal pointing out, and also at a later stage received the photo album of the said pointing out. In other words, in relation to the photos that were taken of the accused and the scenes that he pointed, my Lord.
Ngathola-ke iform leyo-ke iform lena-ke eyayibhalwa uyena-ke uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe mayelana nalokho okwenzeka-ke ngalelo langa ngase ngithola futhi-ke ne-album yazo iy'thombe lezo-ke ezathwetshula ngalelo langa zakhe umsolwa kanye nala akhomba khona.
When did you receive the pro forma notes on Prentice Out and the photo album?
My lord, the photo album was at a much later stage because it was not prepared on that day, and the performer could have been a day or after as well, my lord, from the day of the pointing out.
Iy'thombe zona ngiyazi-ke ukuthi-ke kwathatha isikhathi noma kwaba isikhathi ukuze ngithole ngoba-ke zazingaqediwe-ke zingalungisiwe-ke ngaleso sikhathi leso kodwa-ke yona-ke iperformer-ke yona-ke noma le form lena-ke yona-ke eyigcwaliswa uyena uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe kungenzeka ukuthi ngayithola ngalelo langa noma ngelanga elilandelayo.
I just want to show you a document which has been handed up as Exhibit GG. Just identify the document.
Yes, my lord, I have it in front of me.
Yes, can you just identify it?
So, yes, so the form. Yes, my lord, it is the performer that was given to me together with the written notes made by Colonel Hadebe, Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe. Except this part, the statement of Captain Nailana. It was not part of the performer given to me. Yes.
Ilona-ke nje lena yona-ke eka-Captain Nailana yayingasiyona-ke ingxenye yale form-ke kodwa yona-ke le iyona iperformer kanye-ke nama-notes enziwa uyena-ke uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe.
Just want to show you a photo album that has been handed up as Exhibit GG1. Can you just identify that for the court?
Yes, my lord, it is the photo album of accused number 1 in relation to the pointing out, but it seems to be incomplete, my lord.
Iyona-ke lena i-photo album yakhe-ke umsolo wokuqala mayelana-ke ne-pointing out noma-ke kuyokhomba kodwa kuke kungathi-ke ayiphelele.
Yes, photos of the Prentice Out are not yet before court.
Oh, it's okay, understood, my lord. But yes, this is part
Only
of
certain
the,
photos.
indeed, my lord. It is then part of the album that I received.
Ngiyamtshela-ke umshulezayo-ke i-pointing out azikabi yona-ke ingxenye noma-ke azikabi phambi kwayo inkantolo yavuma-ke ukuthi yebo ingxenye-ke lena yazo iy'thombe zayo i-pointing out yalela langa.
And the person depicted there, my lord, it is accused number 1.
Futhi-ke nomuntu-ke olana-ke kule y'thombe uyena umsolo wokuqala.
Yes, then what happened further?
My lord, that was basically the circumstances surrounding the pointing out and confession. What I then did, I went to Valeria police station and I think also Albertine police station to obtain the copies of the OBs as part of the investigations and attach them on the docket, which such was disclosed to the defense.
Kwaba ilokho-ke mayelana-ke nayo-ke the confession kanye-ke nama-pointing out engase ngikwenza-ke emuva kwalokho ukuthi-ke ngiyeke kwi-police station yase-Valeria kanye futhi-ke nase-Albertine ngiyothola-ke amakhophi-ke ey'ncwadi lezi ey'setshenziswayo ey'bizwa ngokuthi-ke ama-OB khona laphayana-ke e-police station noma ema-police station ngase-ke nginamathisela-ke kulona-ke idokodo nalokho futhi ukuthi lokho futhi noma lawo ma-OB lawo-ke anikezwa-ke kubameli.
My lord, in those entries, it is clearly indicated that the accused in all material times was free of injuries, never complains of any assault, illness, or anything irregular during his booking in and booking out, as well as during the regular cells visit by the members that were on duty. But on top of it, my lord, there were also visits by officers who were on duty randomly. And even in those times, my lord, there was no complaint articulated on the OBs.
Laphayana-ke kulamakhophi alama-OB noma le ncwadi-ke ebhalwayo-ke khona ema-police station kuyacaca-ke ukuthi-ke akukho la khona-ke ashoyo-ke khona-ke akhala khona-ke ukuthi-ke kukho wayengaphathekile kahle washaywa-ke nokuthi futhi ke labo ababesebenza ke khona lapho babe abantu ababemane beyovela ke alikho ke ihlandla la khona ke ashilo ke khona ukuthi ulimele ushayiwe akukho nje la kuvela khona namabhalo khona lokho.
Were the OB entries also obtained from Diepkloof police station?
There was one that was, yes, there was an entry obtained in relation to an entry that was made by Colonel Mboto, to say basically took the confession from accused number 1, but it was not a detention, it's just an entry that proves that he was there, and he then took a confession from him.
Khona ke nase Diepkloof la khona ke uKenel Mboto abhala khona ke ukuthi nje yebo wayethatha ke istatement noma ke confession kuyena umsolo woqala yona ke yayingakhulumi ke ngokuthi ke wayegcinwe lapho ngokuthi nje kwakuchaza noma ke uqinisekisa ukuthi wayekhona lapho umsolo woqala nokuthi wathatha ke lo confession kuyena.
But even on that OB, my lord, from Diepkloof, there was no entry indicating a complaint or something unusual, being assault or any form that would have occurred around this period of the taking of the confession by Colonel Mboto.
Kodwa ke nalapho ke kulokho ke akukho nje lapha khona ukuthi ngaleso sikhathi leso awayephambi koKenel Mboto umsolo woqala ukuthi khona awakusho awakhuluma ke uKenel Mboto ukuthi washaya.
I just want to show you exhibit NN, which are extracts of the OB entries that we've referred to from Diepkloof police station, which appears on page 1, and from Vilera police station, which appears from page 2 onwards, and from Alberton police station, which appears from page 17. If we can just identify.
Yes, my lord. So the first exhibit relates indeed to the report or an entry that was made on the 30th of May 2020 at 23:58.
Ukuqala ke ubhaliwe ke lana mayelana naloko kwabhalwa ke ngazo date sorry. Nge-30 sika May 2020 isikhathi ke 23:58.
And it mentions the name of the accused as well as the colonel that took the confession.
Ibhaliwe ke igama lakhe umsola kanye futhi naye ke uKenel okuyena owathatha istatement kuyena.
Can you just place the whole contents on record? They are not yet on record.
All right, my lord. So date is Saturday 2020/05/30. That is the date, my lord. And then the entry, the serial number is 2400 and time is 23:58. The report reads as follows: Colonel Mboto at Diepkloof, room 1 at CSC, and confirm statement obtained from Musika Kulelwa Sitemba Sibiya from 1818 Umuzi Squatter Camp in Tembisa. Time in from 21:45 until now.
Okay. Lana ke imininingwane ke yayo ke le OB lena ukuthi kwangomgqibelo nge-30 sika May 2020 isikhathi ke u-23:58 ebusuku ke umbiko ke uKenel Mboto eDiepkloof room 1 SCSCS uyasho ke ukuthi istatement esathola kuyena ke umuzika ukhulelwa Sitemba Sibiya oka 1818 Vusumuzi Squatter Camp ethembisa isikhathi ke u-21:45 kuze kube manje.
Until now, will be the time of the entry. What is the time here?
The time of the entry is 23:58, my lord.
Isikhathi ke sibhaliwe lana ke ukuthi yabhala nini ke lokho kwaku 23:58.
Yes.
And on page 2, you confirm that from page 2 up to about page 16, those are the entries from Vilera police station. They are already on record.
Yes, I do confirm, my lord.
Ukusuka ke na ke page 2 ke fika ke page 16 ilokho ke mayelana ke nama entry nama okubhaliwe ke kwase Vilera police station.
I do confirm, my lord.
Yes. And from page 7 to 18, which also serves as Exhibit KK before court, you confirm that those are entries from Alberton Police Station. It's 17 and 18.
17 and 18.
Yes,
Yes, I do confirm, my lord.
Ngiyaqinisekisa-ke nokuthi ke page 17 no 18 kona-ke okubhaliwe laphayana-ke mayelana-ke ne-police station yase-Alberton.
I do confirm, my lord.
Yes, thereafter, what happened?
So, insofar as accused one, my lord's confession, that was basically that. What proceeded were matters that were investigated pending against him. Insofar as the confessions that he made, my lord, I then followed further investigation to collaborate and see if one can collaborate the confessions that he made. So there were parallel investigation. Insofar as the confessions, it was to follow what was mentioned, to collaborate and obtain independent evidence, and then the matters that he was charged for were then proceeding in different courts, my lord.
Kwaba yilokho-ke kumayelana-ke nokugonyuluka kwakhe-ke umsolwa wokuqala amanye-ke amacala ayephathelene amanye amacala-ke ayephenywa ngakuyena-ke mina ngase ngiqhubeka-ke nophenyo-ke ukubheka-ke ukuthi manje khona okunye engakuthola yini okungahlangana noma ukuhlanganisa-ke naloku ayesekukhulumile-ke lokhu akhulumile kuyena-ke uKenneth Mbotho namanye-ke amacala la ayebhekene nawo-ke nawo aqhubeka ephenya.
Yes.
My lord, insofar as this matter that is before court, he was formally charged in October, I think 26th of October 2020. That is where the charges formally were brought for the first time against him, insofar as this matter that is before court.
Mayelana-ke necala leli-ke eliphambi kwenkantolo-ke manje cabanga ukuthi-ke uma ese-chargwa noma-ke esevela-ke phambi kwenkantolo nge-26 ka-October 2020 esiyobingelela-ke manje eyibingelela lona icala leli eliphambi kwenkantolo njengamanje.
Yes,
and that arrest, my lord, took place after the matter was submitted to the DPP in the form of presentation after the collection of all evidence that was obtained, sent for the decision. A decision to indict the accused together with the other accused was issued. I then subsequently applied for the warrant of arrest J50s for the relevant accused, and such was then authorized and granted by the Boksburg Magistrate Court.
Lokho kwenzeka-ke emuva kokuthi manje-ke ufakazi sebuqoqiwe-ke buhlanganisiwe bandawonye-ke kwase kundluliselwa-ke kwihhovisi labeshushisi-ke elibizwa ngokuthi-ke i-DPP ukuthi-ke bathathe-ke isinqumo-ke manje sokuthi bayashushisa noma cha. Emuva kwalokho-ke la isinqumo esathathwa khona-ke ngase ngenza-ke isicelo-ke sayo-ke i-warrant of arrest bese ukuthi J50 lo esisicelo leso-ke eyisaba yimpumelelo-ke enkantolo yase-Boksburg. Base-ke bayachajwa-ke noma babingelela bayaboshwa-ke kanye nabanye futhi abasolwa.
Yes. And do you still remember when they appeared in court?
I think it would have been, I'm not sure, my lord, either 26 or 27 of October 2020.
Ilanga noma i-date-ke anginayo isiqiniseko sayo kungabe kwakungeyi-26 noma ngeyi-27 ka-October 2020.
This will come back to this issue in due course. Before the accused appeared in court, we're talking about accused number 1. Was a statement obtained from him, a warning statement?
Yes, it was obtained. The warning statement was obtained from him. It was taken by me, my lord, and he signed, my lord, the said warning statement.
Ngaphambilini kokuthi ayovela-ke enkantolo ingaba-ke istatement la exwayiswa khona-ke noma-ke lokho kubizwa ngokuthi-ke i-warning statement sathathwa yini kuyena umsolwa wokuqala? Yebo, sathathwa yimina-ke futhi.
Okay, we'll come back to this aspect also in due course. Now, as far as accused number 2 is concerned, when did you first become aware of his arrest?
On the 16th of June 2020, my lord, and that is when I was informed by Sergeant Mukhane.
Ukwazi kwami-ke ngokuboshwa kwakhe umsolwa wesibili-ke kona-ke ngakwazi lokho ngeyi-16 ka-June 2020 ngikwaziswa uyena uSergeant Mukhane.
Yes, then what happened further?
My Lord, I do know that I had a first interaction with accused number 2 on the 18th of June 2020 in Carltonville for the first time.
Engikwaziyo-ke ukuthi ukuhlanganyela kwami-ke noma-ke ukuhlangana nami okokuqala-ke kanye nomsolo wesibili-ke kwakunge-18 zikaJune 2020 eCarltonville.
He was still in detention, my Lord, and he was in a company of Sergeant Mohane and the late Sergeant Mapena.
Wayesesitokisini-ke ngaleso sikhathi-ke futhi-ke ekanye naye uSergeant Mohane nosengasekho noma owashona-ke uSergeant Mapena.
My Lord, I was introduced to him, whereby then I also introduced myself by showing him my appointment card, warn him according to his Section 35, Act 108 of 1996 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, my Lord.
Ngethula kuyena nami-ke ngazethula-ke kuyena ngokuthi ngimtshengise-ke ikhadi lami elikhombisayo-ke ukuthi-ke ngiyiphoyisa ngase futhi ngimexwayiswa-ke ngamalungelo akhe anawo ngokomthethosisekelo u-108 ka-35 ka-1996.
I felt.
Yes, just before we get to that, what led to you going to Carltonville on the 18th of June 2020?
It was the fact that Sergeant Mohane informed me that they will be going there for other investigations, but also in relation to a certain alibi that he may have given them in relation to this matter, my Lord.
Umshushu sifisa ukwazi-ke ukuthi kwakungani-ke ukuthi uye khona-ke eCarltonville ngazo i-20 zikaJune 2020 ukuthi-ke uSergeant Mohane wangitshela-ke ukuthi babe lapho-ke beyokwenza-ke uphenyo nokuthi-ke futhi ababekutshelwe uyena umsolo wesibili ukuthi-ke kukhona-ke awayebanikeze kona-ke esho ukuthi yena-ke waye khona lapho kuleyo ndawo leyo.
Yes, thank you. You may continue.
My Lord, so after the warning that was given to him in terms of Section 35, I established as to what he wants to do. It was clear, my Lord, that he is prepared to talk to me without an attorney, and he didn't choose the right to remain silent, my Lord, and he did not elect to remain silent, rather, my Lord.
Emuva kokuthi ngixwayisileke senimchazeleke ngamalungelo akhe-ke anawo kwaqaqapha-ke ukuthi-ke wayengayimiseleke ukuthi ngase ngimbuza-ke ukuthi uyimisele ukuthi yini-ke ayinqumayo noma isinqumo asithathayo washo ukuthi wayengayimiseleke ukuthi angathula futhi wayengayimiseleke nokuthi futhi-ke angathi abe nommeli.
Yes.
And just for record purposes, Brigadier, can you just place on record the warning that you administered to him in terms of Section 35?
My Lord, it was the right to remain silent, the first one.
Kwakuyilungelo lokuthi angathula angasho lutho.
Right not to give self-incriminating evidence.
Nokuthi-ke anganikezi ngobufakazi-ke obungathi-ke bumbandakanye noma busho ukuthi bayenengxenye.
A right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford one, to have a state a state provide one for him at the state's expense.
Nokuthi-ke unelungelo-ke lokuthi abe nommeli uma kuwukuthi-ke imali-ke ayikho yokuthi-ke akhokhele ummeli loyo-ke ukuthi-ke umbuso ungamaqokela-ke ummeli ubuso uyakhokha ukhokhela loyo mmeli.
And a right to challenge the legality of his detention, and if so the interest of justice permits that he should be released from such detention, my Lord.
Nelungelo futhi-ke lokuthi-ke alwisaneke noma-ke aphikisaneke nendlela-ke agcinwe esitokisini ngayo nokuthi uma kuwukuthi-ke ubulungiswa buvumela-ke uma kutholakala ukuthi-ke akavalelwe ngendlela efanelekile ukuthi enelungelo lokuthi-ke adedelwe.
Yes, my Lord.
Iwona-ke lawo.
Yes, what happened after you explained his rights to him?
My Lord, after I explained his rights, I do recall that I had already told him, my Lord, as well, that he was a person of interest, or rather I was sitting with information that indicates that he was also involved in the killing of Senzo Meyiwa.
Kodwa-ke okunye engifisa nje ukuthi ngikusho ukuthi ngase ngimtshelile-ke ukuthi noma-ke nginalo lwazi enginalo-ke noma le information enginayo-ke ukuthi-ke naye-ke uyambandakanyeka noma wayengxenye-ke ekubulaweni kwakhe uSenzo Meyiwa.
The response, my Lord, was that he was at work specifically on the 26th of October 2014 when the said incident happened. He was able to give me that date out of his own, if I actually put it to him.
Ngaphambilini nje kokuthi ke i-date le yange 26 October 2014 mina ngiyisho noma ngiyichaze kuyena ke yaphuma kuyena ke wathi yena ke nge-26 zika October 2014 wayesemsebenzini.
Yes.
My lord, and the workplace referred to was Sibanya Mine, which I found them not far from there, so I requested that we enter the premises and go to the HR department with him, my lord.
Futhi ke indawo lena yomsebenzi ayekhuluma ngayo ke noma ayisho kwakuyisibanye Mines eyangekudeke la esasikhona ke ngase ngicela ukuthi asiye khona ke siye ke kwa HR.
And the purpose, my lord, was to confirm this alibi he was giving us.
Injongo kwakuhamba ke siyoqinisekisa lokhu awayesitshela kona ke noma awayekusho kuthina ke ukuthi wayelapho.
Upon making inquiries, my lord, it was found that he was not there, my lord. In fact, he left the work premises on the 25th after clocking on duty for only 2 hours.
Kodwa ke uma sesilapho ke kwatholakala ke ukuthi cha kwakungasilona ke iqiniso lelo ukuthi ke ngazo i26 zika October 2014 wayengekho lapho emsebenzini esakuthola ukuthi ke wahamba ke ngazo i25 zika October 2014 emuva kokuthi ke eseklokile noma engenileke nje amahora amabili.
My lord, there was further no indication as to why he left in such a short notice given to us, my lord, in his present.
Futhi ke okunye esingazange sikutholeke ukuthi kwakungani ukuthi ke washesha ke ukuthi ahambe noma ke isikhathi nje esincane lokho sikutshelwa ke ekhona ukuthi abakaze babe ngasazi isizathu ukuthi ke asheshe ahambe.
I further learned, my lord, that he only returned to work I think around the 2nd or the 3rd of November 2020, so he was absent all the way until November, my lord. Sorry, not 2020, 2014.
So the 2nd or the 3rd.
2nd or the 3rd of November 2014.
Okunye futhi ke engathola noma esakuthola ke ukuthi ke nanje ngoba wayehambile ke ngazo i25 October 2014 wahamba ke waze wayobuya mhlambe ngazo i2 noma i3 zika November 2014.
As a court, please, my lord, as we indicated earlier on, may this evidence be provisionally allowed, subject to either Mr. Mulder being recalled or an admission be made in this regard.
Yeah.
Regarding the clocking records and the leave arrangement for accused number 2.
Yes, Mr.
Yes. You may proceed.
No objection. No objection.
I have no objection, thank you.
No objection for provisional allowance.
No objection.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Mulder.
Yes. Hendrik Mulder.
Yes. My lord, indeed, Mr. Mulder was the gentleman who was eventually assisting and disposing an affidavit to this effect, but on a different day. I think it was the 22nd of June when he gave the actual affidavit in relation to these findings.
Empeleni ke uMr Mulder lo ekhulunywa ngaye ke lana kwakuyena ke owayesiza ke mayelana ke nale mininingwane ke futhi ke owathi ke ngazo i22 kuJune ke wase enikeza ke ngaso ke istatement esifungele noma lokho kuthiwa ke iaffidavit.
I wanted to say something. Oh yes, my lord. What also became clear when we were making inquiries is that in that facility, my lord, they have what they call a clocking system. So, for example, if you are not at work, but you are still within the premises of the mine, you'll have to clock in various gates, you know, which detect your movement, even when you go to the canteen, in other words, to have food. So when you are not inside the premises, because apparently the worker stays in those premises, they are able to detect that there was no clock in any of the entrances until the first clocking was picked up around the 2nd or the 3rd of November. So in other words, it was said with beyond a reasonable doubt that the last time he was there was the 25th of October 2014 when he left after 2 hours reporting on duty and returning for the first time in either of the 2 days of November 2014, my lord.
Okunye futhi ke esakuthola ke ukuthi ke khona lapho ke uma usebenza lapho banale system ke bayisebenzisayo ke la ukloka khona ke awukloki nje kuphela ke uma kuukuthi usemsebenzini ngoba ke sathola ukuthi abasebenzi ke bahlala khona lapho noma kuukuthi ke uya ecanteen ukloka khona ke kwelinye lama gate ngoba ke ama gate asetshenziswayo engena kuona noma ukuthi ke umuntu uyodla ke uyakloka so kwatholakala ke lokho ukuthi ke ngesiqinisekiso ke ukuthi ke ilanga lokugcina awayengalo lapha yana kwakunge 25 ka October 2014 la aphuma khona ke emuva kwamahora amabili wase futhi ebuya ke kulama date amabili engwashilo ke ukuthi yi2 noma yi3 kuNovember 2014.
So in essence, my lord, the alibi was false.
Ukusho nje na ke ukuthi ke lokho ayesitshele kona ukuthi ngelanga la nge26 October 2014 wayesemsebenzini kwakuhamanga.
My lord, I confronted him with this finding which were obvious before his presence and he could not give any other explanation, my lord.
Ngase mina ke manje sengiqondana naye ke mayela nalokho ke manje esasikutshelwa ke sikutshelwa ekhona ke akazange akhona ke noma kwazi ke ukuthi angichazele.
My lord, I further confronted him with the sketch plan that was in the docket, where it was alleged that 2 suspects went into the house. This is now when the incident took place. One was wearing a hoodie and the one had dreadlocks. So I confronted him with the second suspect that was wearing a hoodie.
Okay. Ngase manje ke sengikhonana naye ke noma sengikhulumisana naye ke ngaso sketch plan esasiyingxenye yedokodo la khona ke ekwakhulunywa ngabalisa ababili abangena endlini ukuthi ke omunye wayenama dreadlocks omunye ke wayefake noma ke egqoke ihoodie mina ke ngaqondana naye ke noma ngakhulumisana naye mayela nalo owayegqoke ihoodie.
Yes, and I informed him, my lord, that I'm of the view or suspicion that the suspect depicted with the hoodie resembles him, my lord.
Ngase ngimtshela ke ukuthi mina ke owami ke umcabango noma ke insolo zami ke kwakuukuthi ke lona ke ofake noma ogqoke ihoodie ufana naye.
We just want to show you the ID kit which has been headed up as exhibit BB, I'm sorry, exhibit BB.
Yes, my lord, it is the one that I showed him. And the accused on my left with the hoodie, that's the identity that I showed him.
Yona ke lena ke engamtshengisa yona ke futhi ke umsola lona ke ongakho left wami ke ogqoke ihoodie uyena ke lo ikhuluma ngaye.
Yes.
My lord, the response that I recall was that he was aware of such a plan, a sketch plan. I don't know from where, but he said he was aware and he think it's a question of mistaken identity.
Engikhumbulayo ekusho ke ukuthi ke wayenalo ke ulwazi lesi sketch plan engazi ke ukuthi wayelithole kuphi ke kodwa wakusho ke nokuthi ke nje ucabanga nje ukuthi cha kwenziwa iphutha ke.
My lord, I warned him again for with his constitutional rights again and advised him that it will be in his best interest to tell the truth as these things, the alibis which are not materializing, will work against him at the later stage, and said we can leave it at that.
Ngase ngimxwayisa futhi ke ngawo kamalungelo akhe ke futhi sengimtshela ke futhi ke ukuthi ke kuzomsiza ke ukuthi manje ke akhulume ke iqiniso ngoba ke lokhu akuchilo ukuthi yena ke wayekuphi ke akusebenzile kuyatholakala ukuthi ke futhi akusilona iqiniso nokuthi lokhu ke kusengahamba hambeke kusetshenziswe ngakuyena ke.
My lord, as I was walking away, I was then called back. I think one of the members, the sergeant, called me back and says, accused number 2 wants to speak to me.
Ngase sisho ke ukuthi ke asikiyeke ke noma sikushiye lapho ke ngathi ke uma sengihamba ke ngabizwa omunye ke koza kwethu noma ke osargent laba ababili ke bethi ke umsolwa ke ufisa ukukhuluma nami.
My lord, when I went back to him, the utterances he made were tantamounting to confession as well.
Uma sengibuyela kuyena ke lokho akusho ungasho ke ukuthi ke manje kwakusekugonyuluka.
I warned him again, my lord, in light of what he was saying and the fact that such can be used against him. He said he understands, but he just wants to tell the truth because the lies are not working for him.
Ngase ngimxwayisa ke ukuthi ke ngimxwayisa futhi ke ngimtshela ke futhi ukuthi lokho kungasetshenziswa ke ngakuyena ke nanjengobufakazi wathi ke uyakuzwa ke lokho noma ke uyakuzwisisa ke nokuthi ke ufisa nje ukuthi akhulume iqiniso ngoba ke amanga awamsebenzeli.
My Lord, I also established that he was, during our interaction, prepared also to make a confession to an independent police officer or official.
Futhi ke masikhulumisana ke futhi ngathola ke ukuthi wayeyimisele ke ukuthi ke ayokhuluma ke nephoyisa ke lalingahlangene ke nalokho.
Just a minute.
We parted, my Lord, with the understanding that I will arrange such an officer and then arrange with Sergeant, or rather inform Sergeant Mokhane to take him or make arrangements for him to be taken to such an independent officer once such has been found, my Lord.
Sahlukana ke ngokuthi ngangizo kwenzeka isiqinisekiso ke ukuthi ke kuyenzeka ke lokho noma ke siyamthola ke umuntu nokuthi ke futhi ke uSergeant Mokhane wayezomhambisa ke noma uSergeant Mokhane ke aqenzeke isiqinisekiso sokuthi ke uyahanjiswa uma ukuthi loyo muntu leyo usetholakele.
These utterances, my Lord, prior to us departing from each other were made by accused number 2 free and voluntarily, and there was no undue influence or duress, my Lord.
Lokho akusho ngaphambilini kokuthi sihlukaneke kushiwo uyena umsolo wesibili wakusho ekhululekile uphuma kuyena futhi ke kungekho nje ukuthi ke kube nomthelela engasiwona ke noma ke ongalindelekile noma ongemuhle.
My Lord, I then left. I think I arrived with Sergeant Mokola, and then I left back to the Gauteng province.
Ngabushiya ke khona lapho ngase ngibuyela ke kwisifunda seGauteng.
I made numerous calls, my Lord, trying to find an officer that could be available, but eventually, I think at midnight or morning hours of the 19th, I was able to find Lieutenant Colonel Rapadu.
Ngikhumeneke nabantu ke abahlukeneke ngokuthi ke ngenhloso noma injongo yokuthi ke ngithole ke umuntu owayezosiza noma ezolekelela ke kodwa ngicabanga ukuthi ke kwakusebusuku noma ke entathakusa ngathola ke uLieutenant Colonel Rapadu.
He advised me, my Lord, that he can assist and that the accused 2 should be brought to Moroka ACPS that morning, and they will meet him there.
Washo ke ukuthi angakusona ke isimo sokuthi angalekelela noma angasiza ke nokuthi ke umsolo wesibili ke uzocela ukuthi ke alethwe ke epolice station yaseMoroka uzohlangana naye lapho.
My Lord, I did the same exercise as I did with Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe, whereby I connected both parties, not with Sergeant Mokhane, with Lieutenant Colonel Rapadu, as he'll be the one that will be transporting accused number 2 to Moroka.
Ngenza ke ngalendlela engangenze ngayo ke kuyena phakathi kwakhe uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe kanye naye uSergeant Mokhane nakuyena ke uLieutenant Colonel Rapadu kanye noMokhane ngenza ngalendlela ukuthi ke ngikhulumisane nabo bobabili ke nanjengokuthi uMokhane kwakuyena wayezomhambisa.
I also know, my Lord, that on that day, accused number 2 was scheduled to appear in Phosphorus, to be taken to Phosphorus court, insofar as the briefing that was given to me by Sergeant Mokhane.
Ngokwalokho ke engakutshela uyena ke uSergeant Mokhane ngangazi ke ukuthi ngalelo langa lelo ke umsolo wesibili kwakufanele ukuthi ke ayobingelela imantshi kwinkantolo yasePhosphorus.
Just a minute. Yes.
My Lord, it is also prudent to mention that the reason of his detention on the 16th of June 2020 was in relation, I think, to a murder case of Nongoma, not this matter before court.
Futhi ngicabanga ukuthi ke kufanelekile ukuthi ngikusho ke ukuthi ukugcina kwakhe noma ke uba sesitokisini kwakhe ke ngazo i-16 June 2020 kwakumayelana ke necala lokubulala la kwaNongoma kungasilona leli icala eliphambi kwenkantolo njengamanje.
He too, my lord, was arraigned together with accused number 1 in October 2014 when they then made their first appearance in Boksburg in relation to this matter for the first time.
Naye ke nanjengaye ke umsola woqala ke bavela ke ngazo i26 ku-October 2014 kuyona inkantolo yase-Boksburg.
And it was after also, my lord, the warrant of arrest in relation to this matter was issued and executed, where now he then made a first appearance in Boksburg Magistrate Court, my lord.
Nakuyena ke kwakusemva kokuthi ke kusekwenziwe ke isicelo ukuthi ke kutholakale ke incwadi ke egunyazisa ke ukuboshwa kwakhe abakubiza ngokuthi ke i-warrant of arrest ukuthi ke seyobingelela ke imantshi eBoksburg.
Brigadier, if I can take you to the events of the 19th of June 2020.
Yes, my lord.
Yes, can we focus on that?
Noted, my lord. Yes. My lord, then in the morning I was informed by Sergeant Mohane that indeed accused number 2 was taken to Colonel Rapadu at Moroka.
Ngazo ke i19 lezo ke ngatshelwa ke uyena uSergeant Mohane ukuthi impela ke umsola wesibili ke wahanjiswa ke wayohlangana naye ke uKolonel Rapadu eMoroka.
My lord, it is also important to mention that Colonel Rapadu also was independent from these investigations.
Kubalekile ke nokusho ke ukuthi ke yena uKolonel Rapadu ke wayengahlangene ke nalo uphenyo lolu.
Furthermore, that I have never worked with him in my entire career, my lord.
Nokuthi ke angikaze njengiyiphoyisa ke ngisebenze naye uKolonel Rapadu.
And then lastly, my lord, that the first time I actually spoke to him was telephonically, and the first time I actually laid eyes or saw his face was when I went to collect the confession form in his Enadale office, I think 2 days after, but it's depicted in the statement that he gave me. So that was the first time we actually came face to face, my lord.
Nokuthi ke futhi kokuqala ngikhulumisana naye ke wangelanga ngikhuluma naye ke sikhuluma ke ngocingo nokuthi okokuqala ngibonana naye ke ukuthi kwakungelanga ngiya ke kwi-office lakhe ke eEnadale. Ngicabanga ukuthi ke amalanga amabili ke seqedile ke ukuthatha istatement bese kumsolo wesibili ila ngaqala khona ke ukuthi ngimbone noma sibonana.
I just want to show you a document which has been handed up as Exhibit HH. Can you just identify that for the court?
Yes, my lord. So it is indeed the pro forma that I received from Colonel Rapadu, as well as his statement.
Iyona ke pro forma lena ke ngayithola kuyena uKolonel Rapadu kanye nestatement sakhe.
Yes, the second exhibit, my lord, relates to the statement made by Colonel Rapadu. He also gave it to me together with the pro forma and its annexures, my lord.
Lena ke for me ke iyona ke lena anginikeza yona ke uKolonel Rapadu ihamba nayo ke pro forma kanye nestatement.
Yes, what happened further?
My lord, Colonel Rapadu informed me, I think it was just before or very close to 12 midday, that it was done. This was telephonically, and that I should come and obtain or get this pro forma at his Enadale office, my lord.
Wangitshela-ke ngicabanga ukuthi nje kwakungaphambilini nje ukuthi-ke kubumbane-ke ihora le-12 ukuthi-ke useqedile-ke yena uKenyan Raphathu nokuthi-ke angize ngizothatha-ke yona-ke iform noma iprofoma lena kwihhovisi lakhe elise-Enadale.
My lord, I was also told such by Sergeant Mukhane, and I was told that they are now proceeding to Phosphorus Court for the first appearance of accused number 2.
Lokho-ke ngakutshela nawe yena-ke uSergeant Mukhane nokuthi manje-ke babesendleleni-ke eya enkantolo ePhosphorus la khona-ke umsolo wesibili wayeyobingelela-ke imantshi ihlandla lokuqala.
My lord, I was later informed that insofar as the Phosphorus matter, the matter was not enrolled.
Ngatshelwa-ke ukuthi mayelana nalelo cala lelo abebelihambela beyela-ke enkantolo kwatholakala ukuthi-ke alukho kuhla lwamacala lwalelo langa enkantolo.
Are you familiar with the matter that was not enrolled?
My lord, I was told, I am familiar in the sense that I know it related to drugs-related offenses, but the one that he was charged for, sorry my lord, I beg your pardon, the Nongoma, it's a matter of Nongoma, yes, I'm familiar with it. That's the charge he was arrested for. But I know that in Phosphorus, he was also, they were trying to combine him with another matter that was already on the roll in that matter, my lord, in that court, sorry.
Engikwaziyo ukuthi yebo-ke nginolwazi-ke nginalo-ke mayelana necala leli-ke lokubulala lokwaNongoma, kodwa-ke engikwaziyo futhi ukuthi-ke ePhosphorus babe inhloso yabo kwakuthi-ke bahlanganiseke kanye nelinye futhi-ke icala-ke awayebhekene nalo.
And also the intention, my lord, I know that it was to place him insofar as the Nongoma matter and transfer him back to KZN, my lord.
Okunye futhi engikwaziyo-ke ukuthi-ke leli lakwaNongoma-ke icala-ke babehlose ukuthi-ke bamhambiseke ukuthi aye khona-ke eKZN.
Yes.
My lord, we then...
What transpired?
The matter was not enrolled, my lord, as I said, and then insofar as the court proceedings, that's what I was told, my lord.
Mayelana-ke nalokho okwenzeka-ke enkantolo yilokho-ke ekwashiwo kumina-ke ukuthi-ke icala lalingekho-ke kuhla lwamacala.
And the docket, where is it currently?
It is available, my lord. At the time when Sergeant Mukhane testified, we were struggling to find it because it was reassigned to another member, but it has subsequently been found, my lord, so it's available. That is now the Nongoma matter. The one of Phosphorus, my lord, it went to the prosecution for decision, and there seems to be a struggle in locating it, but the Nongoma docket is available, my lord.
Leli-ke elakwaNongoma idokodo lona-ke litholakele-ke okwenzeka-ke ngesikhathi uSergeant Mukhane enikeza ngobufakazi bakhe-ke kwakuwukuthi idokodo lelo linikezwe enye imembe noma elinye-ke iphoyisa, kodwa selize latholakala-ke, kodwa icala leli lona-ke lase-Phosphorus idokodo lelo lona-ke lalihanjisiwe linikezwe abeshushisi ukuthi kuthathwe-ke isinqumo alikatholakali-ke manje namakazi wake ukuthi likuphi nendawo.
Yes, and what is its current status, the Nongoma docket?
My lord, is under investigation on our side because accused number 2 is still a person of interest in that matter, my lord.
Lelo icala lakwaNongoma lisaphenywa-ke ngakolwethu-ke uhlangothi-ke ngoba-ke umsolo wesibili-ke kuse umuntu-ke obhekiwe-ke mayelana nalelo cala lelo sisaliphenya.
Did you say the intention was that the Nongoma matter will also be enrolled on the 19th of June 2020?
Yes, and transferred back to Nongoma, my lord. And the reason for that particular reason, my lord, it was established that in Nongoma there was already a suspect in custody for the same matter, so it was basically to put them together. But it seems the prosecution had a different view in terms of what was contained in the docket, hence it was not enrolled, my lord.
Mayelana-ke nalo icala lakwaNongoma ngishilo-ke ukuthi-ke inhloso kwakuwukuthi-ke nalo-ke libe kuhla lwamacala-ke bese liyandluliselwa-ke kuselwa khona kwaNongoma noma-ke eKZN ngoba-ke wayesekhona-ke umsolwa owayesengaphakathi esitokisini kulona lelo cala-ke manje babebheke ukuthi-ke base bayabahlanganisa-ke kulona icala lelo, kodwa kwabonakala-ke ukuthi-ke abashushisi-ke manje bona-ke banovo oluhlukile-ke ingakho-ke lingabanga khona-ke kuhla lwamacala ngalelo langa lelo.
Yes, and the cast number for the Nongoma docket?
Yeah, my lord, I wouldn't know. I think I know it's 163. I don't remember the month and the year, my lord.
163 ukuthi 163 inyanga ke kanye nonyaka angikhumbulike kulona leli lakwaNongoma.
I just want to show you Exhibit VV, which has been handed up by the defense. Are you familiar with the document?
Yes, my lord, I am. It does reflect the case number that I referred to. So I see it's 163 of 10, 2018, my lord.
Ngiyabona ukuthi case number lana ke 163 ka 10 2018 kuleli lakwaNongoma iqala.
Although, my lord, I don't know how this was found. I'm not so sure about the ethical procedure of finding it. I really don't know. But anyway, the case number is correct. I'm just concerned as to how it was printed, because information of the police, I don't know how it ended up in the defense hand, because this is not how we communicate such information. We would have gladly given it to them, so I'm suspicious of the manner in which this person, if it is indeed this person, generated this printout. However, the case number, I do recall, is the correct one.
Lana ke case number lena ke ngasho ukuthi iyona ke insolo zami ke kuphela ke ukuthi ke indlela ke lemininibane lena etholakele ngayo ukuthi ke uma kuukuthi ke uyena ke lo muntu ke obhaliwe ke khona la ngoba ke akusiyona ke indlela thina ke sicommunicate ngayo siyamaphoyisa ke ngoba ukuba kuukuthi bayicelile ke noma bayifunile kuthina ke sasizobanika kodwa hayi ngalendlela ke esiprintwe ngayo noma ekhishwe ngayo.
Particularly, my lord, because I know the investigating officer who was dealing with this matter up to the time it was finalized that side, and it's not the person mentioned here.
Nakuthi futhi ke umphenyi ke walecala ke ngiyamazi ke kwazi kwayisikhathi la khona ke icala leli liqedwa khona ke ngale futhi ungasiyena ke lona obhaliwe noma ola.
Has that matter since been finalized?
Yes, it's been finalized, and the person that was, at the time when we were busy, that was on the roll, has been convicted, my lord. But also that person statements was obtained by us. That was in relation to this investigation, the matter before court, and that statement was attached in the docket, which has been disclosed to the defense, and also in relation to, he was questioned about this matter. So that person has been sentenced, my lord.
Lana ke yebo ngishilo ukuthi icala leli sela phethwa ke nokuthi ke futhi lo muntu ke walahla ke icala leli awayebhekene nalo ke futhi nestatement ke sasithola ke kulo muntu loyo mayelana ke nalo daba lelo siliphenya kanye futhi nalolu ke olphambi kwayo ke inkantolo lena.
And he is known, my lord, to accuse 1 and 2.
Futhi ke lo muntu lona ke uaccuse number 1 noma umsolo wokuqala nowesibili bayamazi.
Yes, you may proceed.
So then, my lord, later then we arranged, because there was an issue of the hoodie that was depicted there, that there will be a follow-up made to find that hoodie. That is now on the 19th after the proceeding. So we agreed that we will meet in, I think it's Northwest, to follow up the hoodie. I instructed Sergeant Mohane to meet me at the police station of Pukeng SAPS, my lord.
Okunye futhi ke kwakuukuthi ke manje kwakusethathwe nesinqumo ke ukuthi manje kuzoya kwavela ke lo daba lale hoodie ebutshengisiwe ke khona lana ukuthi ke manje kuzoyobhekwa yona ke ihoodie leyo ngase ngikhulumisana noma sengisho ke kuyena Sergeant Mohane ukuthi ke asihlanganeke epolice station yasePhukeng.
My lord, I do know also that he made a report to me that I think there was something that Sergeant Mabena forgot, so they had to go to Moroka SAPS back to look for something, but then later, which was much later, we met, they found me at Pukeng police station.
Ngiyakhumbula ukuthi kukhona akusho kumina uSergeant Mohane ukuthi kukhona ke lokho okwakhohlwa uyena uSergeant Mabena khona ke eMoroka kodwa ke mase sihambile ke isikhathi sahlangana khona epolice station yasePhukeng.
My lord, I requested, obviously after reporting and following all the formalities of the ACPS, I requested the cluster section of that area insofar as the address that we wanted to go to. to accompany us to the set address together with accused number 2, my lord, and of which they did.
Emuva kokuthi konke sekwenziwe-ke kwi-police station leyo-ke esafikela kuyona-ke ngase ngicela-ke ukuthi-ke i-cluster-ke eyalapho noma-ke ophethe-ke lapho-ke ukuthi-ke basiphelezele-ke ukuthi siye-ke kwikheli lelo-ke noma la esasihlose ukuthi siye khona sihamba naye umsolwa wesibili.
My lord, we arrived at a certain residential area which was identified by accused number 2, where the members then went in to search for such a woody. I was outside making calls, my lord.
Safika-ke kuleyo ndawo leyo-ke indawo leyo esayitshengiswa uyena umsolwa wesibili. Amalunga-ke noma-ke ama-member-ke angena-ke ngaphakathi-ke eyosesha-ke noma eyobheka yona-ke ihudi. Mina ngasala ngaphandle ngoba ngangenza-ke ama-calls.
So upon your arrival at Puking, where did you start?
At the police station, my lord, Konke SAPS.
Uma sifika ePhuke ngisaqala e-police station.
What time?
Yo, my lord, it will be in the evening. But prior to midnight, I'm not sure about the time, the timeline, my lord.
Anginaso-ke isiqiniseko sesikhathi kodwa kwakusebusuku-ke kodwa kwangaphambi nje ukuthi-ke libumbaneke ihora-ke leshumi nambili.
Yes.
So yes, my lord. So I said then they then went in, my lord. They were also in the company of the local police officers. In other words, officers from Puking who then went in as well.
Bangena-ke uma bengena lapho-ke babehamba nawo-ke amaphoyisa asePhuking.
I was later informed, my lord, that the hoodie could not be found, but what was found was ammunition that the accused 2 could not explain or produce a license to possess such.
Ngatshelwa-ke ukuthi-ke ihudi-ke le ababeyibheka abazange bayithola kodwa okwatholakala-ke kwatholakala iy'nhlamvu lezo-ke abathi uma bembuza ngazo-ke umsolwa wesibili-ke akakhonanga-ke ukuthi abachazele ngazo.
My lord, the process was then followed to open a case of possession of unlicensed ammunition, and the docket of Puking was then opened and assigned to Sergeant Mokhane to carry on with that investigation.
Kwase kuvulwa-ke idokodo-ke manje noma sekulandelwa-ke iy'nhlelo-ke ukuthi kuvulwe-ke idokodo noma icala-ke mayelana nokutholakala kwalezo y'nhlamvu lezo nokuthi-ke uSergeant Mokhane aqhubeke-ke ukuthi kube uyena-ke owenza lelo phenyo lelo.
My lord, he was initially detained at Puking as the requirements so detect, and then transferred to Primrose SAPS. And in those detention in Puking, as well as the receiving police station, that is Primrose, he was both detained and booked out with no injuries, and also received at Primrose with no complaints and injuries, my lord.
Nokuthi nanjengoba-ke iy'nhlelo-ke zikulindele ukuthi kwenzeke-ke ukuthi-ke wase faka khona-ke esitokisini ePhuking nokuthi-ke manje usezondluliselwa-ke ePrimrose. Kuwona omabili-ke lama-police station uma egcinwa khona lapho-ke bemamukela futhi nesebemkhipha nangale bemthatha-ke ePrimrose wathola kwakubhaliwe-ke ukuthi cha wayengalimele.
Yes.
So I wanted to say, my lord, I know this because the copies of the OBs in the relevant stations were also obtained, and I believe it was made available to the defense as well, my lord.
Ngiyakwazi-ke lokhu ngoba-ke amakhophi alama-police station amabili-ke engikhuluma ngawo-ke khuluma manje ngayo-ke iPhuking kanye futhi nayo-ke iPrimrose ngawathola-ke futhi-ke nabameli nawo-ke bawathola.
Furthermore, my lord, I'll just take the court back insofar as Moroka SAPS. He was not detained, my lord, but for the ease of reference or at the request of the defense, we also drew the OB and I think SAP 14 from Moroka, which clearly indicates that he was never detained in Moroka SAPS, except for the taking of the confession.
Okunye futhi-ke ngokuya kwakhe-ke eMoroka ngaleli langa-ke aya khona-ke ngalo nalapho-ke bashoyilwa-ke noma kubhaliwe-ke ukuthi wayengavalelwe-ke khona lapho kwakuwukuthi nje yebo wayeyile-ke nalokho-ke amakhophi akhona-ke nawo-ke sawathola-ke.
You mentioned that copies of the occurrence book both from Puking police station were obtained.
That is correct, my lord.
Primrose.
That is correct, my lord.
Just want to show you exhibit PP1 and PP2. Yes, if you can just identify it.
Yes, they are, my lord. It is indeed the detention. It is the exhibit PPG that I referred to, my lord, both in terms of the ACP 10 as well as the ACP 14, the detention register.
Iyona ke i-register lena ke ekhuluma ke ngogcino wakhe noma kuvalelwa kwakhe ke khona lapho iyona ke lena bethe u-PP 10
PPC2, PPC1.
okay u-PP exhibit
PP1.
PP1 kanye no PP2.
Yes, and my lord, it relates to the entry that was made at Bukeng police station when first accused number 2 was detained and then later transferred to Primrose.
Lana ke ekhuluma ke ngayo ke i-police station le yase Bukeng la khona ke ewaye egcinwe evalelwe khona ke wase endluliselwa ePrimrose.
And it also reflects the case number that was opened there, my lord, which is Bukeng case 118/06/2020 for possession of live ammunition, my lord.
Lana ke bese ke ne case number ibhaliwe ke eku1 icala lelo elavulwa ke lapho eli 118/06/20 ukutholakala ke nezinhlamvu.
I just want to show you exhibit MM2A, which are the AVL records. For the vehicle used by Sergeant Mukhani. Do you still remember which vehicle he was using?
Yes, I do, my lord. He was using a white Toyota Fortuner. I think the registration starts with BF, but I'll know when I see the registration numbers. It is an official vehicle, my lord.
Ngiyazi ke ukuthi uSergeant Mukhani imoto ayisebenzisa bakuyi Toyota Fortuner, ngiyazi ukuthi nje ikhala ngo VF, kodwa ke uma ngiyibona ke ngizoyazi ukuthi iyona ke ama number lawo.
If I can draw your attention to the AVL report for the date 19 June 2020 at 21:53 and 25 seconds.
Can you repeat the times?
Yes, it's the times. Let him repeat.
Can you repeat the times, please?
21:53 and 20 seconds.
Okay. Yes, so I see it says the date, my lord, is 2020-06-19-21:53, GPS unlocked, Bukeng SAPS, my lord.
Ngiyabona ke la kubhaliwe ngazo i19 ku June 2020 isikhathi ke u21:53 ama seconds awu 25 bese kubhalwa ke GPS unlocked
And
Bukeng SAPS.
what would that time be?
It's 21, the time depicted here, my lord, is 21:53, 25 seconds.
Sona ke isikhathi leso esu 21:53 ama seconds awu 25.
Yes, you mentioned that you first went to the police station in Bukeng.
Yes. So this will be the time when we were there, my lord. I understand the question now.
Ngiyawuzwa kumbuzo manje ke isona ke isikhathi lesi esasise police station ngaso.
Yes, there's also the time reflected when you arrived at the house. I think it's the next page.
Yes, so that will be 22:33. Yeah, the vehicle then was switched off, my lord. So it's on the same date, 2020-06-19, 22:33 with 41 seconds. The vehicle was then switched off at this Freedom Park. That is the residential area where the house, or rather the place that accused number 2 identified as his place of residence.
Ngazo i-19 kuJune 2020 isikhathi ke u-2233 ila ibonisa ikutshengisa khona ukuthi imoto yaqishwa ke ile yandlu ke khona eFreedom Park ile esayikhonjiswa uyena ke umsolwa wesibili.
And what time did you leave Booking on the day in question?
My lord, it will be after midnight, because if one look at the exhibit that we just look at now, that is PP1, exhibit PP1, my lord, one will see that accused number 2 was detained at 0040. In other words, it was already the 20th. The date is 2020-06-20. So that morning, 0040, he was detained formally and then transferred at 0045. So we would have left, okay, I think around midnight, my lord.
Ukuhamba
Freedom Park now, sorry.
Mase sihamba khona ke eFreedom Park ke lokho kwakusese muva ke ukuthi ke ligamenxe ke eleshumi nambili ihora ndathakusa ke ngoba uma ubheka ke lana uma edetained noma ke evalelwa ke khona kule police station yasePhukeng isikhathi sithi 0040 uma esendluliselwa ke ePrimrose u0045.
We'll get now to the entries from Primrose Police Station, exhibit QQ, just after the long adjournment.
Yes, my lord. My lord, I've also forgot to mention something that insofar as the alibi that accused 2 gave, that is the first alibi to say he was at work on the day of the incident, which was found to be false. There was also another alibi given to us that says he was in Kwanongoma specifically, and he threw some money through a Capitec.
Okay. Okunye nje engikhohliwe ukuthi ngikusho mayelana nalokho okwashiwa uyena ke umsolo wesibili ukuthi ke ngelanga ke lesigameko le yena ke wayesemsebenzini kwase kutholakala ukuthi lokho kwangasilona iqiniso. Phindile ke washo ke ukuthi ke yena ke waye kwaNongoma washo ke nokuthi ke wasebenzisa uCapitec la ayekhipha khona imali.
Section 205s were done, my lord, which were then disclosed to the defense, and it was found it is not true, my lord.
Kunesicelo ke lokho ababiza ukuthi usection 205 owenziwa ke amameli bakunikwa ke lokho kwatholakala ke nalapho ukuthi ke bangasilona iqiniso.
So in essence, my lord, this was the second alibi found to be false.
Engishoyo ke manje ukuthi kwakuwo kwesibili ke lokho asitshela khona ke okwatholakala ukuthi akusilona iqiniso.
And what is prudent, my lord, it was said by accused number 2 while he was presented by the counsel before this court. So he was legal advice, and they put it as his alibi that they requested us to follow. Such was followed and found to be false.
Okunye futhi ke ukuthi lokho umsolo wesibili ukusho nkathi ke enommeli noma ke ekhona ke umuntu ommeleke phambi kwalenkantolo sase siyacelwa ke ukuthi ke asikulandeleleke noma sikubhekeke lokho okuyinto esayenza.
The Capitec bank statements were handed up in the main trial as exhibit DD Annex 1. They will be shown to you in due course.
Yes, my lord.
As a court, please, my lord, will this be an appropriate time to take the long adjournment? The heat is taking its toll.
Oh, yes, sir.
Can we just take?
Okay, 2 o'clock.